Okay, well, first of all, how's that intro? Spencer made that. It's kind of cool. Kind of old retro feel to it. Knight Rider. Not just an 80s TV show, but dirt bike Knight Rider. A lot of guys are looking for more time, especially in the summertime, to ride. And riding at night can be pretty fun. I think we haven't ever raced at night. Now, that's a whole different deal. We're not getting into that here. That's another level of commitment and another level of, headlights you would need and so forth. What we're talking about is just riding at night regularly, whether it's a dual sport bike like we have here with a good aftermarket headlight on. This is the Baja Designs setup with a moto-minded setup on it. XL80 Pro, I think they call that, and it's extremely good light. And so compared to a stock headlight, you can't even say night and day because that's what we're talking about. But a stock headlight on most dirt bikes and even dual sports is kind of just meant to get you back home or back to the truck. You're not really going to do any real riding unless you're going like a quarter of the speed you would be normally. So with a heavy duty light on here, like you see here, here's the one like a Twilight on our EXC, just real serious light output. And in some ways you kind of see stuff even better in some ways than in daytime because you're just concentrated on what's right in front of you. You're obviously not looking off to the sides. Sometimes when I'm trail riding, I'm looking off to the sides during the daytime and just checking out the scenery, the mountains, looking for animals, whatever, just looking around. And when you're night riding, you find that you're just focused on what's right there on that end of that spotlight. So you tend to concentrate just right there, which is kind of a cool feeling. One of the benefits of riding at night is cooler temperatures. Even in summertime, it's going to be cooler, depending upon where you're at. But that's one of the big motivations we have out west here. Even in the mountains, say in Utah or wherever, Colorado, it can be very hot. So going out at night can be a big help. Helmet lights. This is a good option for guys that don't want to have to put a stator on their bike and have a high power light. You can get helmet lights now. There's some really good options. Moto-Minded has this setup, and what you do is you put the battery pack, say, inside your hydration pack, and you run the cable from your hydration pack right up to your helmet. And in this case, we have the Moto-Minded is one that sets this entire, it's a Baja Designs light, but then Moto-Minded makes this light, and this thing will do a really good job. You'll be surprised. And we've run them for 2.5, 3 hours, no problem. We don't usually ride any longer than that at night, so we haven't tested exactly how long it will go, at the higher output. But we know we can get a couple hours of really strong on it, more than we would typically ever really need, So it makes a pretty dang good spotlight. It's also good, you could have it in combination of, say, your stock headlight, or more like the better, because you're able to look around to the side of you with a light on, which is really nice. With our Baja Designs light, just going back and forth from high to low beam, you can kind of see the level of difference there is. It's somewhat, it's pretty substantial. So these high beams on these high output lights are pretty amazing. Now this is no helmet lights, this is just the bike light right here with the Baja setup. Pretty nice having that. And we've even gone in some kind of tunnels, and it's pretty amazing how good the light is inside those kind of areas. Got a little bit more shots here. You can see the high and the low beam going back and forth. Now obviously if you're on like more wide open stuff like this, going faster at speeds isn't as critical, but I think anybody that's riding at night is typically going to be turning it down some percent. You know, who knows what percent you're turning it down. And if you're familiar with the trails or not, I probably wouldn't feel comfortable riding a lot of, you know, the rock stuff we do. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing a lot of that. But there's some kind of fun exploring you can do. And a lot of that, you know, this kind of urban stuff on the dual sport or off on your trails in the mountains, it's going to be a, you know, great thing for you. I think it opens up a lot more riding for a lot of guys to be able to ride at night. Having the separate headlight for your helmet is a great option for a lot of guys. Now people are going to say, hey, did you tear down some fences? No. We just kind of went where tweakers had already done stuff. So no fences were damaged in this video. We did not be doing that. Now as far as aftermarket lights, if you have a bike that doesn't have a high output stator, putting a higher output stator is an option. You know, it is a little bit more costly. Of course, having the headlight on your bike and you don't have to worry about a pack with an external light is probably easier, of course, but it can be a little bit more money, and then you don't have the flexibility of switching to different bikes. So if you have the external lights, Thumper Jockey also has some at a reasonable price. From what I've seen, they have lights that you can put on different places, either on your bike or on your helmet. And those are especially for, say, two-strokes and different bikes that really don't have any of those higher output stators. So here we just have the two helmet lights on. Now most people are just going to have one of these lights, but this is two helmet lights that we have rigged up from Moto Minded with the Baja light, and it's got the anti-gravity battery power in this. This is no bike light on at the same time. So as you can see, you can get pretty good light out of those headlights, out of those external lights that we have on our helmet. So if you have a bike that doesn't have a good enough stator and you don't want to deal with upgrading all that, having external lights can be a good option. A lot of times if you know you're going on a long trail ride, at the end of the day, it can be a good idea to bring the lights in your pack in case you need them to get back to safety. We've ridden back in the dark before on bikes with no headlights, and it is not good. And I've crashed. It's not been fun. So riding bikes without headlights, period, for sure kind of sucks. So I would definitely recommend being prepared. If you know you're going to be out there and it's going to be borderline at all, I'd recommend being prepared with a backup light, or at least somebody in your party that has stuff to help you out to get back. We've definitely crowded around a guy or two to get back with the guy that has the good working headlight to at least get back on, say, a road or whatever. But on the actual trail, there's no way he can help you. You got dark in front of you, and it's really tough. So hopefully that helps you out some. A little fun night riding, and can be a great thing anytime of year, but especially in the summertime, it could be good for you. All right, hope you enjoy. We'll check you out at the track or trail soon.